I'm going to read a couple of paragraphs from my favorite story in the basic text. The name of the story is I Found the Only NA Meeting in the World. My name is Bob B. from Los Angeles. I'm not Bob. I'm reading Bob's story. Pay attention. Shit. On the subject of people, places, and things, my story is not much different from The Executive. It's just on the opposite end of the stick. I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, poor, deprived, during the Depression, in a broken home. The words of love were never spoken in my household. There's never been an ambassador for Narcotics Anonymous like Bob Barrett.
My name is Bob and I'm an addict.
Hi, Bob.
Yes, I guess I am.
Live and in color. Rock and roll, all right.
I say, my name is Bob and I'm an addict. This goes back to when I was growing up. I was trying to get Mama's approval, and I couldn't budge Mom. I tried to do everything possible in terms of getting Mama to recognize that Bob was over here. You know, I had 4 or 5 other brothers and sisters around, you know, and I didn't know they were hollering too. You know, I was, Bob, come over here. She used to recognize me with a stick. She whipped everything in shape at her house. We need each other. Huh. The first item we had to change when we worked with the office, the New York office of AA was one little word in the steps. We had to add a word to it in the steps. Oh, we. Not me, we. They, you know, had to okay and said they weren't too squirmy about letting us use that. They would like for you to get something used because they wanted to get you out of their presence. Yeah, take it and go.
Good luck.
So what occurred here was, it was kind of the fledgling beginnings of what Narcotics Anonymous was going to be. Of course, they put Jimmy kind of in charge of the coffee pot. And, he was conscientious about if you had a meeting place, that the door get open when you're supposed to get there. Many a day that Jimmy had to sit in that one meeting with a full pot of coffee and pour it out at the end of the hour and a half. Well, nobody showed up. You have to realize that addicts weren't welcome anywhere. Mm-hmm. Not even in jail. Isn't that cool? That's cool. The sum total of our literature consisted of a little yellow book about that big with 8 pages. The whole program of Narcotics Anonymous is in there. Oh, product. And it stayed that way for a while. 8 pages long. Questions and answers, steps and traditions, serenity prayer, and just for today. That's it. Now, I usually have a car, so I was usually called another pickup man, you know. I'll go pick up this here. We have a whole lot of shit to pick up. What shit we had to pick up, we had to go get it. And blamed I had the whole WSO in the back of my car. Well, where a better place to have it, you say, I knew where it was. You know? If they couldn't catch me, they would call Jimmy and leave a message, or something needs to be done. We need to get some books, we need to get this here notice out or something. And And so, we kind of just hook things together as best we could do how at any given time. Plus, I had gone to start working, I got a job. Called my roll off and told me I better get one. And gave me a time schedule to do it. I had problems with authority, and parole officer was one of the authorities I had my big problem with. We weren't supposed to congregate. Those means weren't supposed to congregate together. Parolees in particular. Jimmy was able to get a spot somewhat consistently. The first meeting with them place at a sanitarium called Schreier's Drive. It was a dry out place for alcoholics. The way we got in there because they had some addicts in there also. And they let us have a meeting, and how they did it, what kind of meeting it was going to be, was how many addicts against how many alcoholics were in the same meeting. As to which meeting it was going to be that night. They had some other meetings there, so they decided to let Jimmy use a room there as a meeting room for really our first established in a meeting. Rhodes and Moore Park became a center, as to speaking, as to this is where kind of like the birth of Narcotics Anonymous in terms of a place to have a meeting. I'll try to remember. I'll probably remember this occasion for the rest of my life.
Lean in, Bob. Lean in.
Happy birthday, Annie. We've been delivering a message of recovery for 50 years. Delivering it clear. Happy birthday, Lord. Happy birthday, Annie.
Now, all of us together.
So I can't tell you what a tremendous privilege it is for me to introduce tonight's speaker for our 50th birthday celebration, Bob B. from Southern California.
They say, how you stay clean 40 years? Don't use. Oh, shit. But those are the kind of people we are. It's something so simple and just seem to be profound by just the imagination of that's the way it works. Very simply, it works. There's very little complication in the 12 steps of recovery in terms of the words. It's just that we have to understand the words. I had difficulties with the first step. Not just one time. For years I had trouble with the first step. I thought it said something it didn't say. Now I could pronounce the words. I knew where the periods and the commas and shit were, but it didn't dawn on me what a couple of words meant. And one of the words in there talking about being powerless over my addiction, and didn't know what addiction was about. But we had words, we had things we could string together that sounded good and looked kind of act, and we took upon and say, well, let's put this down and check it out and see how it works. They traveled all over the country, collecting people that do a little job, and talking about find a person that could write, somebody that could read, somebody that could put two sentences together that meant something. It was a kind of an odyssey that we used to meet at certain places under adverse conditions, with no ways and means of doing the things that we were trying to accomplish to do. We stayed up all night very often in basements, getting things together, writing things together, seeing how it. Some people just came in just to see what we were doing, just as curiosity, and end up get caught up in this thing called writing something that was going to watch Narcotics Anonymous grow. Because after the book was finished, our book was not big, it was basic. And it's a slow process. We have great expectations with no means to get to where we're going. We want to get to the moon and don't want to get on the ship. I want you to go. Let me know how it is. Nobody could tell you how good it was. When they tell you this is some good shit, nobody here started talking about let him check it. It's always give me some and I'll tell you how good it is. And to come to find out the steps worked in that manner even. We have to become brave enough or get enough something within to take the position and say, I'm going to try that. Regardless of all the positions we take of denial that it won't work for me because my case is different. And that was one of my great things. I walked in the doors of Narcotics Anonymous. I didn't see no chocolate folks sitting in there, for one thing. And I know that case must be different because I didn't see them on the same street corners I was on, you know. So I thought my case was different right off the bat. And people used to tell me, your case is not different, Bob. You go try it out and see how it works. You know, the analogy I always used to use because somebody dropped it on me. They said I didn't have to believe the steps, they still worked. They told me they worked like castor oil, Bob. I mean, what are you talking about castor oil shit? I don't know about no castor oil. Yes, I did know something about castor oil shit. Mom used to give it to me often at home. And all my resistance, it still worked. And I didn't have to have no willingness because I was going to have to take it anyhow. They talk about higher power. I knew nothing about higher power. I didn't have any. I came to Narcotics Anonymous. All religions were, as far as I'm concerned, you get shit canned. Not too far from that today as far as religious or those types of doctrines and so forth. But that's okay because I have a higher power of another type, of another understanding. But I had to come to some understanding that my power, to say, works for me. And I can't be talking about yours not working for you. One of them, I had to go to jail. Now I was clean. 4 or 5 years I was clean. And I thought I was running the show. I forgot I had a parole officer. And screw him. That's not the way he took it. Told him I was staying clean, taking care of business, going to work every day. I wasn't giving him no hard time, going down and get tested, you know, on a regular basis. But he wanted me to do something else. One of them was he didn't want me to go to Narcotics Anonymous meetings because he had the answer for me. So he thought. Well, he did in a way because he had the handcuffs. I learned the power of prayer shortly after, and I learned the power of prayer was heavy. I got to begging. That's the only prayer I know. Some people needed some formality in their prayer. My prayer was, give me one of those and 2 of those. Yeah. And I learned we have to share this thing called recovery. I've learned about love in the same process. And not the love you give is the love you receive. So if you're looking for it, you better give up something. But I just think that you're in these rooms of Narcotics Anonymous at a world convention in San Diego, one of the loveliest places in the world. Yeah? For this moment, what more could you ask for? But we stay here, we'll get what you're supposed to get. But you got to do what you're supposed to do in order to stay here. Sometimes it's a big job. We must be up to the task. We must do our damnedest to try to keep those kids that are coming along that don't have to go the same path that we went. Must give them what they need. It's time to get off my soapbox, folks. But let me tell you one thing. At any time you talk about recovery, include me in on the conversation so I may continue to learn something about what recovery is, not what it's not. Thank you.
While we're standing, help us to again thank Bob from Southern California for sharing with us tonight.